Before the scroll unfurls, before the flame flickers, there was a silence, a breath held between worlds. The Wyndi Daai was a simple merchant ship out of Luskan. Her captain and crew were seasoned sailors, but after being becalmed for a week, tempers were running high and patience was running low. One windless night there was a pop, and a pixie was standing on the captain's table. The captain, Nathaniel Delmere, greeted her, explained their circumstances, and took her above decks. "Keep my ship sailing, and you'll not see a cage," he had promised her, and she agreed. Her fate was now bound to this ship, this crew. She magicked their sails full, taking them to where the winds blew fair, and favorable currents would keep them on course. The crew cheered as the wind beneath them creaked and groaned under its own weight, the bellies of the sails filled with air, the little fey creature directing them back to their course. That night, with the sound of waves slapping against their hull and the creak of canvas under pressure of a natural wind, the crew celebrated the little pixie that saved them. She sailed with them, giving wind to the sails while others foundered, easing the passage through storms that others named Ship Killer. She became their good luck charm, their mascot. They named her for the ship, as she and the ship became one and the same to them, their home and lodestone. Whatever she had been before, whatever she had looked like in the Feywild, her hair grew black and wild, her wings took on the color of sky and sea, her eyes became gray as the clouds. She learned what it meant to be a sailor, to read the wind, the waters. She learned what each man did, how the day-to-day life of the ship ebbed and flowed. She grew to love it, to love them, and took pride in keeping their floating homes safe. She lived with them aboard the ship, sang with them, playfully pulling harmless pranks on each other. Her fey nature was hard to repress, even separated from her homeland. While at port, though, she remained on board, below decks. She would watch through the windows, but she had no desire to leave the safety of the day. She enjoyed the tales when they'd come back aboard, but where once she had wandered wherever she had desired within the Feywild, now she chose to stay safely cocooned within her wooden world. Stories were told, as they often are, in the tavern, on the ships, along the docks, whispered from mouth to ear, as ropes slithered along wood. Some dismissed it as nothing more than gossip, something to pass the time, to explain the good fortune of the Wyndi Daai and her crew. In other minds, it took root. It took decades for the living legend of the Wyndi Daai to grow enough to incite avarice in darker hearts. It only took one pirate crew to sink the ship, kill a crew, and capture the pixie, putting her in a cage. Captain Marth gave different promises than the ones she received from Captain Delmere. Instead of freedom of the ship, he promised her life in a cage. She had heard the stories that sailors brought aboard that made her shiver at the telling, but she had ignored them, secure aboard the Daai. Now, each one of them came to the surface of her mind, and she shrank from the imposing orc who had captured her. She did as she was told, earning herself some comfort to ease the hardness of the cage. She had no friends in this crew, heard no more stories, and instead of the choice to stay aboard while in port, she had only her cage. She was not without hope, though. The captain kept her and her cage close, so she listened, watched, and learned. And she waited. Time runs differently in the Feywild and for those born of it. She waited. She waited and read the seas, listened to the winds, and watched the captain that kept her prisoner. There came a night at sea when the waves rose and the winds tore at the ship. She listened and she waited until the captain came for her. This was not just a ship killer. This was a hurricane. He took her above deck, tying a leather strap to her waist before opening the cage, letting her free to work her magic. And she did. But not the way the captain wanted. She worked with the hurricane, teasing it, taunting it, working it up until it broke the ship in half, and the hungry sea swallowed the growler and its crew. And one small fae flew safely away into the eye of the hurricane. The scroll fades, but the flame endures. This has been a character narration by AWDD. If you would like your character's backstory handwritten on paper that embodies your character, please visit us now at our Etsy shop, AWDD Legacies.